Shisui has always been a popular character since his introduction to the story. While we don't get the chance to see him fight that much, we are given some glimpses of what he was capable of doing through the anime, games, and novels. Naturally, this led many, including myself at one point, to believe he was very powerful. However, after some realization, I came to the conclusion that many of his feats weren't as great as I originally believed. This is your boy Harry, and today we will go over the question, is Shisui even strong? Firstly, we should establish there aren't many showings of what he's capable of doing in general. Regarding his body flicker, something he was known for, he has no feats to showcase its speed. The only thing that seems to matter is that in the novel, part of the Uchiha's plan was to have Shisui use his body flicker to capture the third Hokage. For this to work, Shisui would have to be fast enough to get to Hiruzen, and if we're interpreting it as him actually had to fight Hiruzen, be strong enough to take him out to capture him. I talked about Hiruzen in an older video already, but to go over a little slightly, in his old age, he was considered to be the strongest of the Kages, those being Rasa, Yagura, Onoki, and A. Raikage A, being the important one here, was fast enough to tag Casing 1 Naruto multiple times, and even almost tagged him with his version 2 until he got surpassed. For Hiruzen to be considered the strongest, he would at least be able to beat each Hokage 1-on-1, meaning that he should be able to keep up with each Hokage to a certain extent, including A. If we assume the plan of Shisui capturing Hiruzen involves him taking him down through combat, then Shisui could be upscaled to be put relative to possibly above the 5 Kage, as well as having speed that can be considered relative at a bare minimum to Casing 1 Naruto. Although, that's if we assume that's what it means, as it could also be referring to Kotoamatsukami. Speaking of which, now it's time to discuss Koto. Outside of his body flicker, Koto is the main thing he is known for in the story, being described as allowing him to enter others' minds and making them go through phantom experiences and manipulating them. In the data book, it's described to be the strongest genjutsu, causing the user to influence the opponent and manipulate their actions without them being aware of it. It also describes the ability to be able to achieve victory without a battle, which is very interesting when looking back at the statements when it comes to any statement really in general of Shisui. As you see, when you look at each of the statements, each one mainly focuses on his MS ability, including the data books, as if it's the only thing that he does. In other words, while he does his other stuff, I'm not going to sit here and say he doesn't do anything else besides the Kotoamatsukami. There is a clear case that it's quite possible that he only uses his body flicker along with Koto in most of his fights in general. This would mean that the plan of capturing Hiruzen using Shisui's body flicker would have also meant he used Kotoamatsukami in the process. This would also make sense too, that considering they're having Shisui do this, along with the connection to the third at this point, it would just make sense entirely to have someone be close to the Hiruzen to be able to capture him. And of course, having the strongest genjutsu along with it should be an easy capture. Now, if you're wondering why it can't just be his physical prowess that would be enough, then it's time to discuss a character that, in my opinion, ruins any chances of Shisui being high in scaling. Danzo. Danzo as a fighter is barely impressive as he's killed multiple times by Sasuke during the 5 Kage summit. While there are moments of him getting Sasuke off guard, this could be the result of him catching him off guard with Izanagi, an ability that allows Danzo to change his fate, and Sasuke getting tired from overusing the MS, along with himself admitting that Hiruzen is stronger than him. This showcases that Danzo isn't that strong and does not scale to 5 Kage Summit Sasuke as many tend to believe, as they also use this to scale up Shisui. This is important because in the anime, manga, games, and novels, Shisui loses to Danzo and loses his eye in each and every one of them, the anime being the worst one as he gets obliterated. The only good and best interpretation was the novel as it mentioned him being poisoned, but it also doesn't do anything to Shisui scaling, as it would, it wouldn't do anything for him either, as it could be summed up as Danzo trying to handle it as quickly as possible without anyone in the village even knowing. It also gets worse as Kakashi it was the first to be picked to be the 6th Hokage after the Pain arc, before Danzo, with everyone agreeing with one of them referencing Kakashi's power. The only reason Danzo became Hokage was because he had to intervene and mention how he can be a stronger enforcer compared to Kakashi. This will also mean that Danzo could be even weaker than Kakashi at this moment, who is more so a rival to mid-tier Akatsuki members like Kakuzu. This means that Shisui, while having the strongest Genjutsu, will also be considered weaker or equal to people like Danzo, Kakashi, and Kakuzu's level opponents. Now I'm going to say equal to just to be fair to Shisui here. I could just say from his losses in each one that he's just entirely just weaker to Danzo. However, you can still imply that he can still be somewhat relative using the novel that he had to get poisoned for it. Albeit, I'm not going to say he'd be stronger than these guys either, as I feel like there isn't enough evidence to suggest that whatsoever. Now lastly, I believe it's important to discuss the capabilities of the Susanoo, or to be honest, lack thereof. We know he has a drill sword and has the ability to shoot out green shard-like things. Outside of the Anbu that he killed, it can't really be scaled any stronger outside of it being stronger than just his base. Even then, we also had to discuss whether or not he has the Susanoo to begin with. While it is true Kishimoto the author himself designed it, it doesn't outright mean that it's canon. If we use that logic and say that it is, then his and Itachi's perfect Susanoo will also be canon as well. Outside of that, the only other thing I heard people use to say it's canon is the poster for the top 99 vote, which showcases I believe was like 21 popular characters in the series. And that's just Shisui with, the Susanoo drill that his Susanoo has. Another problem I have with this is that we also see Sakura with an axe and Hinata with a sword, which we know they don't use in the slightest. So what does this mean entirely? Well, this could mean that it could be, fan service, because after all, there is a Susanoo he does kind of have in the games, and plus he doesn't show anything else. What do you have him do? Stare at the screen with his eyes? Now I'll say this, I will be fair and say he probably does maybe have it. Although I think there's evidence to suggest he doesn't have it, I'll be fair and say he probably does. Now, in conclusion, it's time to answer the question: is Shisui strong? While he does have the strongest Genjutsu in Naruto, his loss to Danzo and the implications from the data books and statements made of him keep him from being any higher than people like Danzo, Pain or Kakashi, mid-tier Akatsuki members, and anyone else around that level. Overall, he'll still be pretty strong. I'm not going to take that away from him, but this is where he just stops. And I'm being honest, I don't see him going anywhere else higher until we see another statement or anything else of him. Either way, that will be it. Thank you guys so much for sticking out through the entire video. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, click on the notification bell, and share your opinion in the comments below. I have other videos on this channel as well. I want to grow this channel a lot higher as a power scaling YouTuber. Either way, this is your boy Harry signing out. Peace.